And we're also continuing to closely monitor the crisis in Haiti. It's been nearly a week since that devastating earthquake killed thousands there, followed by that storm that dumped heavy rain on the island. Hospitals in the affected area now overwhelmed with far more patients than they can treat. But as Joe Johns reports, medical evacuations are said to be picking up speed.
The helicopter convoy bringing the most seriously injured from the earthquake zone to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, running from sunup to sundown. Today, they're greeted by a surgeon, a broken bone specialist, who quickly evaluates their condition. The 7.2 magnitude earthquake left more than 2,000 people dead and over 12,000 people injured, causing hospitals in Haiti to be completely overwhelmed. A short distance by air from Le Cayet to Port-au-Prince, but getting here can be a slow process. This 23-month-old girl suffered a laceration running from thigh to ankle in Saturday's earthquake. When she finally was flown into the capital, her leg was badly infected. It took a long time to get her here.
To get her, so it's about 3 days. The facilities are pretty good over there. It's the issue that they are dealing with in our countryside.
Many of the patients coming in, children.
As I was sleeping, the bed was shaking, and then I ran, and there was a brick in front of me that fell on my feet.
From the airport, ambulances fan out across the city, taking the patients to hospitals that should best suit their needs. Here at the hospital run by Doctors Without Borders on the west side of town, where the staff have been dealing with more than just the rapidly filling beds.
The hardest part is when a staff member knows or receives a patient to whom they may be related, and it's tougher for them.
The stories of the patients heart-wrenching. My first son died next to me, this mother of four says. She lost not one but two sons in the earthquake, both dying right next to her when their house collapsed on top of them. She was pinned in the rubble for hours before being rescued.
When they started digging and they made a hole, I grabbed one of the people's feet so they knew I was alive.
After being pulled from the rubble, her right leg was amputated, but she says her spirit is unbroken.
I have a sister and a mother who are living in the States. I want them to know to stay strong, because God is given, God will take away.
Joe Johns, CNN, Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
It's unbelievable loss there, my goodness. Well, now to the latest on the fight against COVID-19. More people are getting vaccinated against the virus, but hospitalizations are on the rise. Hospitalization rates for people under the age of 50 apparently setting new records. The biggest jump is with people 30 to 39 and kids under the age of 18. Now, the CDC says those rates are up more than 30% than the previous peak in early January. But only about half the population is fully vaccinated, and there's still no approved vaccine for those under the age of 12. But the school year has already started for many, putting kids squarely in the middle of that mask debate. Well, a big election is coming up in the Bahamas, where they'll soon decide who will form the next government of the Commonwealth. And the Turks and Caicos is reconsidering stricter travel guidelines that it just put into effect. Our One Caribbean News' DeAndre Hamilton has more.
Lots of big stories on Thursday, including an election date for the Bahamas.
I have advised the Governor General to issue the writs of election, which will be held on Thursday, the 16th of September, 2021.
Dr. Hubert Minnis will lead a caretaker government now, and the announcement came about a half hour following information that the House has gone from being prorogued to being completely dissolved.
Earlier today, Parliament was dissolved. It is time for you, the people, to choose who you will elect to form the next government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Many saying Dr. Hubert Minnis is wary of the extreme criticisms of his administration despite attempts to navigate the Bahamas through two of its worst crises, Hurricane Dorian of September 2019 and the ongoing coronavirus pandemic since March 2020.
Dear fellow Bahamians, as a result of our country reaching the goal of securing the vaccines we need, it is now time for the Bahamian people to choose who they want to lead them.
As he spoke, the workers of the power company, BPL, were marching in protest. Medical staff was into a near week-long strike. And despite arrivals of record numbers of doses of vaccines, the pandemic was tightening its grip with more new cases and more deaths in the worst wave for the Bahamas. The Turks and Caicos has informed that new travel requirements, which were to take effect on September 1st, are recalled, and new information will be made public soon. TCI last week announced a major pivot, saying only fully vaccinated tourists would be permitted to travel to the country. It is reported the measure had caused significant cancellations.
Well, 2 weeks after winning Puerto Rico's first gold medal in track and only second in its Olympic history, hurdler Jasmine Camacho Quinn finally arrived back on the island where hundreds were waiting to celebrate. Our Christian Ramos was there earlier this week and has the story.
Puerto Rico is celebrating because our Olympic gold medal Jasmine Camacho Quinn just arrived to the island surrounded by her family, friends, and the members of the Olympic Committee.
I didn't, like abandon my Puerto Rican side or anything like that. I chose to embrace it. And me, my family, we all embrace our Puerto Rican side, honestly. So it's what you make of it. And I know for us, we embrace that side, definitely. It means a lot, that's pride. I think we all know, speaking of Puerto Ricans, that's pride right there. And I am very, I don't know, I stand on that. I say it, and I'll say it again. That's just how it is. It comes from both of them, and both of them did an amazing job. We get the best of both worlds.
I'm very proud of her. The Olympic record was one thing, but I really want to see her to get the world's record. She got into gymnastics first, kind of outgrew it. I had to beg her to get in the track. It was like a battle, and I think by the time her junior year is when the light kind of went off. I think she broke the state record that year, finished first in 4 events. And her senior year, I think when she ran her fastest time, that put her #1 in the world. And I think when she started to accomplish those little simple things, that what began to change her life. She said, okay, I can do this.
This is amazing. I am very proud of her. This is something she worked hard, especially when COVID hit. So all she did was practice, practice, practice. I would go visit her in Orlando and check on her, cook her dinner, clean her house, just to help her out so she could get some rest. But for her to win this gold medal and break the Olympic record, for Puerto Rico, I'm overwhelmed. I'm just overwhelmed.
Un momento histórico, no solamente récord olímpico, medalla de oro, clasificada hoy número 1 en el 100 metros con valla, así que todo el mundo a disfrutar que esta medalla de oro es para todo el pueblo de Puerto Rico y vamos a seguir trabajando arduamente para eso.
Tomorrow, after all the celebration, we will be talking with Jasmine about her Olympic experience and future plans. Reporting from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Christian Ramos.